A mod for Amanda the Adventurer recently dropped in FNF and it really piqued my curiosity. I thought that it was going to be a simple lore story that could be explained in a minute or two, but in actuality, I ended up playing through the game multiple times in order to piece together some crazy lore. Here's what I've pieced together so far, and make sure to put down your own thoughts and theories in the comments as well. So in the game, you play as a woman named Riley who just inherited a house from her Aunt Kate. Now the creepy part about this is that it seems that Aunt Kate died before her time. She even says in a letter that she doesn't know how much time she has left and there is so much more that she needs to do. Kate also explains that she's left some tapes in the attic that she needs us to watch, but once we do, there's no going back. And I don't know about you, but for me, that was an immediate red flag. Now, when you pop in the first tape, it starts off innocently enough. It's a cute little girl and a black sheep that are trying to bake an apple pie. And even though the sheep seems very weary about cooking without adult supervision, the little girl seems to not know where her parents are and not really care about it, honestly. And she goes on to use the oven and a knife to cut the apples up. She even seems a bit cavalier about it.
It's always good to be brave when you're by yourself. Look, I'm a pirate.
Now that first video ends without anything too crazy happening. When playing through the game, I even said, "That it?" I mean, that wasn't that bad. You know, it sounds like she has a little bit of an attitude, you know, with Wooly. But other than that, it's not too bad. But little did I know that it gets much worse. Through your first playthrough of the game, you are basically helping Amanda send a gift to one of her friends. And crazy enough, the name of that friend is Kate, which we can assume is your Aunt Kate. We also learn later that Kate was a librarian and an avid supporter of the original Amanda the Adventurer show, which we'll talk about in depth a little bit later. Now, while sending the gift to Aunt Kate, we also see the outline of people on the sidewalks, which kind of suggests that once upon a time, there were people here. But now, for whatever reason, they're all gone. We also get to see Amanda's facade start to break down a little bit, as in the next tape, it seems that Willie is trying to warn us.
Oh, it's you. Whatever you do, don't...
Oh no! Wooly had an accident!
But Amanda pops up and I imagine she throws him to the ground, skinning his knee. I think his knee is actually supposed to be broken, but he seems to be able to walk around just fine, so I don't think that's actually that severe. But regardless of the severity of his injury, we still decide that we need to take Wooly to the doctor, where we see that there are still no adults. So of course, Amanda takes it upon herself to help Wooly. But after this tape, we get a huge hint about Amanda's father, a man named Sam. As the game progresses, we learn that this man is Amanda's adopted father and that the show was a live production before it was turned into a cartoon, which is a very important fact for later. In the final tape of the first playthrough, we see Amanda and Wooly are having a picnic and we come across a moldy sandwich, a rotten tree, and a dead fox that was caught in a bear trap. And remember the fox because he will come up again later. Now, all of these things relate to the tape's title, which is actually called Everything Rots. Now, close to the end of the tape, Amanda makes an interesting comment. She says,
Sometimes I feel myself rotting, but it feels far away.
and this is where my belief that she is actually a real girl, or at least she was at some point a real girl. It almost sounds as if her soul has been trapped inside this TV show, but she is still kind of aware that her real body is out in the world, possibly rotting away. Now, once this tape is over, we get the most common ending of the game, where a demonic version of Amanda comes up to the attic and basically kills us. Now that we have spoken about the base game, I want to get into the secret tapes and how they affect the lore of this story. The first tape can be attained by finding the peach that is hidden away behind some junk in the attic. If you put the peach in the oven instead of the apple, you will get an orange tape that shows this scene.
Where's the birthday girl?
Usually my mom holds my treat money.
Well,
Come on, Lauren, we have a special surprise for you.
Here's what I have.
Who's ready for ice cream and cake?
She's busy with her best friend.
Isn't that show on 24/7?
It's like she didn't even hear me.
And we need to talk about some new TV rules. You know what? Hold on. Let me try. I want to capture the big surprise on video. Lauren, honey, we got cake and ice cream. We got your favorite, mint chocolate chip.
Come on, baby, we can watch Amanda another time.
it's so much fun
Lauren?
to buy your own
Everything okay?
Lauren?
Lauren?
I love mint chocolate chip.
Now, two things really stood out to me while watching this tape. The first one is that Amanda seemed to have a way of mesmerizing the kids who are watching the show. And the other thing is that she seemed to be sentient. The dad says that he has mint chocolate chip ice cream, which is his daughter's favorite. And at the end of the tape, Amanda says that mint chocolate chip is her favorite as well. Now, some people saw this and they believe that this is evidence that Amanda can actually drag kids into the TV or absorb them in some way. But I don't think that this is the case, because at no point in the game does she show to have that ability. What is more likely is that Amanda has been corrupted and in turn is attempting to corrupt the children that watch her show. The other option is that she kills them just like she does to us in the first inning of the game. And as I just stated, I think that she's also sentient, meaning that she can actually hear what's going on in the real world. I believe all of these theories could work because it seems that Amanda has been digitized so long that she has lost a lot of her memory and her humanity. So the thought of her doing something bad to these children isn't too much of a stretch. Just look at the way that she treats Wooly. Now, the second secret tape I was able to receive by going down the alternate route of the tape titled In Your Neighborhood. You trigger this series of events by pausing during the In the Kitchen tape and cutting on the oven. You'll have to make this disgusting rat potato mushroom pie, which will produce the alternate In Your Neighborhood tape. In this tape, there is an additional store that seems to be a meat shop. When you go into the 24/7 store, instead of numbers being above the card display, there will be a sheet of music. For my people who can't read music, it spells out facade. And if you play those notes on the piano, you'll actually receive a new secret tape. Now, something else that stands out in this tape is that Amanda tells us that something bad happened, and Willie actually steps up to tell us a secret. And the secret is that he's actually the friend that Amanda is talking about. Now, judging from the fact that Amanda does not seem sure about this, I'm thinking that Willie is probably lying here, but we go along with it anyway. But as we are trying to shop for Willie, all the stores start to become meat shops, and Amanda starts to freak out.
Don't do that! I don't want to go there. I said I don't want to go in there! No! Why is this happening? No! Why can't I stop this? I want to get my friend a special treat. Let me out of here!
From that clip, it's obvious that Amanda doesn't like this meat shop. If I'm being completely honest, I don't fully understand the symbolism behind the butcher, but I believe that the butcher shop is a representation of what may have happened to the actual Amanda's body, or aka Rebecca, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Another option is that the meat shop could just simply produce unhappy memories for Amanda as well. And when we play the next secret tape, we kind of get some evidence to back that up. It seems that Amanda was placed into some type of facility with what seems to be doctors and security guards. And if you freeze the tape, this object here can look like a type of water heater or maybe a testing tank of some sort. Either is bad because a water heater suggests that she may be getting taken to some type of dark basement type room, or if it's a testing tank, it suggests that she's actually been experimented on. So either choice is really bad. And the fact that the man in the beginning of this tape had Amanda sign something without her father Sam there to also give her some type of guidance gives me some really bad vibe. And speaking of Sam, we actually use his name to get the next secret tape when we play the VHS titled What's a Family. This tape is interesting because it's the first time we see Amanda start to treat Wooly like he's actually an animal, even going as far as to say that animals don't speak.
They look different, and they don't talk like people.
Amanda, I'm an animal, and
Animals don't talk, silly.
And as you can see, she's being extra disrespectful. Next, we go see a family of chickens, and this is where things start to get interesting. The first odd thing is that Willie is losing his ability to speak and instead can only baa, although he still seems to keep his human-like intelligence. The second interesting thing here is that when Amanda sees the family of chickens, she says,
I see a mommy chicken and baby chickens, and I see a daddy chicken.
The way she said daddy chicken made me curious as to what would happen if you type in her father's name, and of course it yielded a response from Amanda. She seems to be about to question you, but the tape cuts out and then she's back to her normal self. But if you pause the tape at that point and look behind you, you'll actually see another secret tape lying on the floor. After that, Amanda says that she wants to go see the sheep, but we can tell that Willie is very nervous and even afraid of this for some reason. And when we get to the actual sheep area, we can see why. Willie has fully reverted back to being a normal sheep and is surrounded by these alien looking sheep. At the end of this tape, Amanda finds a cat that is all alone and has no family. And depending on if you say yes or no to helping the cat, you will get a different ending. If you agree to help the cat, Amanda simply looks at you for a few seconds and then the tape ends. But if you say no, this happens.
Will you please help the lonely kittens? Won't you help the lonely kitten? Won't you help the lonely kitten? Won't you help the lonely kitten?
Is one of the few times that we really see what Amanda is and what she is capable of. Now, after the tape is over, we look at the red tape, which shows this.
It's been 3 weeks since local television producer Sam Colton was reported missing, and authorities still have no leads. Colton is the creator of Amanda the Adventurer, the public access children's educational program that became a huge hit among area children. But with Colton's disappearance, the future of the show remains unclear. Last year, Hamlin Entertainment purchased rights to the live-action program starring Colton's daughter Rebecca. As budget and production value increased, Hamlin reimagined the show as an animated series, planning to syndicate the program nationally. Hamlin's acquisition of the program and Colton's recent disappearance have raised some eyebrows. And to further fuel these concerns, new episodes of Amanda the Adventurer have had subject matter that has left local parents uncomfortable about the program.
My kids are still really into that show, but it has changed. I mean, I walked in the other day and Amanda was talking about how mommies and daddies aren't always right. I mean, what is that? That's not something you tell impressionable kids. I had to change the channel. I just told the kids that the TV was acting up.
It's not yet clear how Colton's disappearance will affect the involvement of his daughter Rebecca, the show's young star. We reached out to Hamlin Entertainment for an interview. While representatives declined to comment, they did release a written statement. We at Hamlin have concerns surrounding the nature of Sam Colton's abandonment of both our program and his daughter. We cannot speculate on his reasons for leaving. We do ask that the community respect the privacy of Rebecca Colton, as she needs time out of the spotlight to process these disturbing events. For the time being, Rebecca's local appearances have been canceled, including the Kensdale Public Library fundraiser, Woolies Readathon, this Saturday evening. Rest assured that Amanda is not going anywhere. Hamlin Entertainment remains committed to our vision for this cherished program. Despite this statement, authorities have not drawn any conclusions about the nature of Sam Colton's disappearance. We will share any future updates as the story develops.
The red tape really started to put things together for me. It seems like Hamlin is some type of evil, soulless corporation that took out Sam, aka Rebecca's father, so that they could have full access to Rebecca and, of course, Amanda. I'm using the name Rebecca and Amanda at this point because this is where I put together that Rebecca was the little girl that played Amanda in the live action show, aka Sam's daughter. Now, after Hamlin bought the rights to the show from Sam, they made the series go from being a small budget live action production into a potentially worldwide animated series. And the next hidden tape shows how I think they did it. This next hidden tape can be obtained by watching the VHS that is titled Oh No, Accident. This tape starts with Willie trying to warn us about something, but the tape cuts out and it seems like Amanda knocks Willie to the ground, skinning his knee just like before. But this time when Amanda asks who can help you when you're hurting, instead of saying a doctor, we type in the word nobody. This allows us to get a purple hidden tape.
Rebecca, that was great. Let's move on to the next one.
Bio. 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 Pie man. Pie man. Pie man. Ballet. Ballet. Pie.
What is this? What is she reading? Just a few simple words. This script is specifically tuned to train the technology's dynamic voice reaction. The what? I want this to stop. Sam, why don't you take a walk for a few minutes? We've only got a few more of these.
No, I don't want to do that.
Rebecca, what's wrong? Who are you talking to?
The man in the headphones.
This moment, she's upset. This is going too far. Let's just take 5. Rebecca, come on out and we'll...
This video reveals a lot about what is going on in this game. Amanda is having her voice recorded. Some people couldn't make it out, but the sign above the door says recording, quiet, please. And the director seems to be trying to get sound bites for what he calls the technology's dynamic voice reaction. Now, I'm not a tech wizard, but this sounds a lot like interactive voice response tech, which is basically used on robocalls. Basically, you call a store or a company and you tell the robot what your issue is, and it will give you a dynamic or a human-like response and send you to the right place. I think that this corporation wanted to get sound bites from Rebecca so that they could use them for the entity that is Amanda in this new show. I also believe that this is why Amanda can respond to people in the real world when they are talking. Like when the dad said that he had mint chocolate ice cream and Amanda responded saying that that was her favorite. I also think that this video showcases why Hamlin felt like they needed to get rid of Sam. He obviously knew that they were up to no good and wanted to get his daughter out of there and maybe pull out of the deal altogether. But the most important thing from this tape is when Rebecca says that she doesn't want to do that and reveals that there's a man speaking to her through her headphones. I believe that this is some type of demon similar to the thing that attacked us when we get the first ending of the game. And this creature wants to possess and use Amanda to infiltrate the home of unsuspecting people and lure away or manipulate their children. In the final tape of the game, we see Amanda sitting on a couch drawing in her book, and something that stands out is that there is a fox in a bear trap, which we actually see earlier in the game. Now, some people believe that she is the one that causes the fox to be put into the bear trap because she actually draws it into existence, while other people believe that she's just drawing what she saw earlier. Either way, I think this is another example of how demented Amanda can be at times. To further this point, she opens her lunchbox and we see sausages, a chunk of meat, and brie cheese. Now, a lot of people don't want to believe it, but this is most likely woolly. I say this because brie cheese is actually a cheese that is made from sheep's milk, and the meat in the box could be another animal, but common sense and the cheese hint kind of gives it away. This tape ends with Amanda asking if she can tell us a big secret. At the end, she reveals that she is out there somewhere, which I take to believe that she may still be alive, or more likely she's been killed, but she understands that her body is out there decaying.
I'm out there. Somewhere.
This goes back to earlier in the game where she says she feels herself rotting but is far away. Once you finish the tape, the TV starts to freak out and it almost looks as if someone is trying to get out of the television. You throw a brick, ending the nonsense, and the sun comes out, symbolizing that this is a good ending for the game. Now, if you found all the tapes like I did, you'll also have a mystery man pop up at the end of the game. He seems to look like some type of detective. I'm not sure if he's there to help you or harm you. Maybe we'll see what happens with him in a future update. Now that I've given you my theory for the main lore of the game, there are a few loose ends that I want to tie up. The first one being why Kate died. I don't think that Kate died by normal means. This is the last hidden tape in my evidence.
Welcome to Coffee Break. Today I'm talking with Sam Colton, the creator of the hit kids show, Amanda the Adventurer. And I have to say, a fantastic studio neighbor.
Thanks for having me on the show, Sadie. You're a pretty good studio neighbor yourself. Though, I am going to gain 50 pounds if you keep stocking the kitchen with those delicious homemade cookies.
You can't have a coffee break without cookies. Sam, last year you started producing Amanda the Adventurer right here in the studio. The whole town loves it. Did you even imagine that would be such a big sensation?
Honestly, Sadie, no. It was a total surprise. I mean, it's scrappy at best. You know how it is when you have a big idea and a little budget.
I don't know if I know what you're talking about.
Kids don't really care about that, though. They see the heart.
And boy, does your show have a big heart.
You know, I really have to thank our local librarian, Miss Kate, for being such a champion of the project. I think she's talked about it at every single story time.
I think it's just so rare nowadays for kids' shows to be so much fun, but also really teach kids something, isn't it?
Mm.
What inspired you to create Amanda?
I wanted to create a show that teaches children that our world is a magical place, that there are little adventures waiting around every corner in their very own neighborhood. The show is a celebration of kids' imaginations. But really, it's all Rebecca. As soon as I met my beautiful daughter, the inspiration was there. You know, she was so young when I adopted her. And despite what she's gone through, she's always seen the world with such kindness and joy. She's the light of my life, and it makes me so happy to share that light with our community.
She really is something special. Watching her perform is simply delightful. I mean, the whole show is just so cute.
Thank you, Sadie.
Do you see big things happening with Amanda the Adventurer?
I've actually had some people approach me about it. They want to turn Amanda into a cartoon. I can't really talk about it yet, but it's exciting. It feels like a dream, the idea of welcoming even more kids into this wild, creative world. It feels like my little show could really have a big impact.
That's incredible. Sam, thanks so much for having a coffee break with me today. Our community is so lucky to have you. And Rebecca.
As you saw in the tape, it seemed that Aunt Kate was a huge supporter of the live show, which means that she was probably close to Rebecca and Sam. I think that once Rebecca and Sam went missing, Aunt Kate got a hold of some of the tapes and was trying to figure out what was going on. And I think as she started to unravel some of the mystery, someone or something ended up killing her. If you remember in her inheritance note, she didn't mention anything about being sick or in poor health at all. She simply stated that she was running out of time. I believe she was silenced just like Sam because she wouldn't sit idly by and allow this company to hurt Rebecca. Another loose end that I want to tie up are some of the people who think that Sam was actually the bad guy. The only way people can feel like this, in my opinion, is if they haven't unlocked all the secret tapes in the game. I think that it's clear from the tape that we just watched that Sam truly did love his daughter. And he also thought that working with Hamlin was going to be a huge opportunity and a good deal for them. Sam also says in the tape that they were working initially on a really small budget and only on the local level, which means that he and Rebecca were not doing this show for money, but because they really believed in the work. So for me, he didn't come off as a person who would exploit his own daughter just for money. The next thing I want to touch on is the cat. I think that the cat was supposed to represent Amanda. When talking about how the cat was alone and had no one to help her, it was one of the few times that Amanda looks genuinely sad. And the way that she lashes out at you if you don't help the cat seems very out of place, considering that she doesn't seem to have much care or love for any other animal that pops up in this game. She treats Wooly like crap and doesn't care about the other sheep or any other animal on the farm, and when she sees the fox dead in the bear trap, she literally laughs at it. This is why I believe that the cat is a representation of Amanda / Rebecca and everything that she has lost up to this point. Next, I want to speak about Wooly and the fact that a lot of people think that Wooly is Rebecca's brother, but for my personal playthroughs, I didn't see any evidence that could actually confirm that. I understand that some people played through earlier demos of the game, so maybe they got some information from there, but definitely nothing in this version, at least not that I found, shows this. I do think that it's possible that Wooly is another human child that was trapped into this digital world though, but he doesn't have a demonic entity living in him like Amanda. I think that he was probably just a very kind-hearted boy that got dragged into this mess as an extra test subject. And I also believe I understand why Wooly is treated so poorly by Amanda. In the interview tape that I just showed, Sam makes a small comment that is easy to miss. He says that even with all that Rebecca has been through, she is still a kind person.
It's all Rebecca. As soon as I met my beautiful daughter, the inspiration was there. You know, she was so young when I adopted her. And despite what she's gone through, she's
always seen the world with such kindness and joy.
This implies that before Rebecca was adopted by Sam, she lived a hard life and was possibly even abused. So when Rebecca was turned into Amanda in the digital world, I believe that her pain and grief and the fact that she's losing her memory and humanity has made her resort to the abuse that she knew as a small child. So as cliche as it sounds, I think that Amanda abuses Willie because she herself was abused before she was adopted. And in her anger and grief, she resorts to the behavior that she saw as a small child. I know this isn't a typical type of video that I do on my channel, but if you made it to the end, let me know if you enjoyed it. I may add more videos like this onto the channel because a lot of my content does revolve around lore and backstory, and adding more games to the mix may spice up the channel a bit. And also, if you want to see the full playthrough of this game, I played through it on my second channel. You can check it out here. Subscribe today to become a member of the Orseofkorse, and we'll see you tomorrow with another video. Peace, peace.